History Teacher by Billy Collins. Trying to protect his students' innocence, he told them the Ice Age was really just the Chilly Age, a period of 1,000,000 years when everyone had to wear sweaters. And the Stone Age became the Gravel Age, named after the long driveways of the time. The Spanish Inquisition was nothing more than an outbreak of questions such as, how far is it from here to Madrid? What do you call the matador's hat? The War of the Roses took place in a garden. And the Enola Gay dropped one tiny atom on Japan. The children would leave his classroom for the playground to torment the weak and the smart, mussing up their hair and breaking their glasses, while he gathered up his notes and walked home past flower beds and white picket fences, wondering if they would believe that soldiers in the Boer War told long, rambling stories designed to make the enemy nod off. I love this poem because it captures so delightfully our desire as grown-ups to protect the innocence of our children, especially our own. It starts from the moment a baby enters our life, enchanted by this tiny, soft, warm creature who fits so snugly in our arms and gazes up at us with such trust. We suddenly have a new purpose in life, to keep our child safe. Sweetest of all the moments of parenthood or grandparenthood are the times when we believe we can. Take, for instance, the universal custom of singing young children to sleep. The word lullaby comes from the archaic verb lullen, meaning to calm or hush to sleep. The last syllable, by, may come from goodbye. A lullaby, then, is a song that lulls and soothes a child at a time of separation from parents. Sung in the darkness, when mysterious shadows fill the room, it sends a message of comfort and reassurance. Sometimes, of course, if it's been a really hard day, you're so exhausted that you can barely get through the song without collapsing. All you want is for your kid, as the title of one modern parenting book puts it, to stop crying and go the F to sleep. But sometimes it can be quite magical. When the room is quiet and the child is cuddly, all the tumult of the day subsides and you create an oasis of peace. You rock your baby gently to sleep, or stand swaying in the darkness until the baby's head comes to rest on your shoulder, and there's no better feeling in the world. Through the language of music, through the language of touch, you make the most powerful promises you will ever make. I'm here, and nothing can harm you. This beautiful world is at peace. You can close your eyes. Do you remember someone long ago singing you to sleep? Do you remember singing to your own little ones? Amazed at your own power to make them feel perfectly safe. Lullabies in all languages consist of a few simple repetitive verses in a gentle melody, often sung in 6/8 time, a lilting waltz that some say mimics the rhythm of a mother's heartbeat or the rocking movements a baby experiences in the womb. Though the melody is calming, the content of the words can be rather dark, for lullabies seem to invite adults to express their own sense of fear and vulnerability. One of the earliest lullabies on record, now in the British Museum, was etched in cuneiform on a small clay tablet some 4,000 years ago by a Babylonian scribe. It warns that if the baby disturbs the household gods with its crying, the demons will get him. A Kenyan lullaby warns that a crying baby will be eaten by hyenas. We're all familiar with the terrors of our most famous English language lullaby, with its vision of cradles falling out of trees and babies crashing to the ground. Duérmete, niño A Mexican lullaby sung to the tune of Rockabye Baby warns that if the baby doesn't go to sleep, the boogeyman will come and get her. Jewish lullabies, like all lullabies, reflect the culture that created them. Among the oldest is Shema Yisrael, often sung together with Hashkivenu, the prayer for lying down in peace. Duerme, duerme, a lovely Ladino song, recalls Sephardic Jews driven from Portugal and Spain to seek safe haven and openly practice their faith. Sleep, my little one, without worry or pain. Listen to the joy of your mother's words, Shema Yisrael. Yiddish lullabies, born of folk tradition, comment poignantly on the difficult lives of Jews in Eastern Europe. As one scholar says, they contain the aspirations and hopes, the trepidations and fears, and sometimes the hopelessness and despair felt by the adults who sang these songs. Another, noting the mournful tone of these lullabies, says, the lyrics are emotional, tender, and introspective. The melody is almost always in a minor key, infusing the most joyous and even frivolous words with a touch of sadness. Few examples. In Ei Lulu mein Schäpsele mein Kleiner, Hushaby my little lamb, the mother promises her child that tomorrow daddy will order new shoes for all the children. Probably a promise to be fulfilled only in a dream, since few poor families could afford new shoes for all the children. The little ones would wear hand-me-downs. In another lullaby, Amoles gewenne meise, once upon a time, the refrain is, Hushaby, my little bird, hushaby, my child. I have lost my own true love. Woe is unto me. And a third, perhaps sung by the deserted wife of a political prisoner, the lyrics are downright haunting. Es laufen es Jorgen schwarze Chamaris. Black clouds are driven through the sky by a howling wind. Your daddy sends a greeting from Siberia. Many Yiddish lullabies expressed the highest hopes and aspirations that Jewish parents harbored for their children. For little girls, the goal was to marry a learned man. Soreles chosen vet seine Talmid Chochem. Little Sarah's groom will be a wise scholar. For little boys, of course, the goal was to study Torah. Torah is die beste Schoire, says one lullaby. Torah is the best merchandise of all. In Yankele, the mother sings, sleep now, my beautiful Yankele. Close your dark eyes and sleep. A Yingele vos lernen vet Gemora. A little boy who soon will study Talmud. How your father beams with pride. Such a clever little scholar. Why won't he let his mama get some sleep? Familiar to many is Eufen Pripyatchik. On the hearth there burns a little flame, describing a class of little boys studying the Aleph Beis with their kindly teacher in a warm, cozy room. This song, too, hints at darker things to come, the legacy of Jewish suffering bequeathed to these little boys along with the learning. Ihr werdet Kinder älter werden, werdet ihr allein verstehen, wie viel in die Oasis liegen Tränen und wie viel Gewehen. Children, when you're older, you will understand how much pain is in these letters and how many tears. Sometimes the hopes expressed for children are more down to earth. In the original version of Rosenkisch mit Mandeln, Raisins and Almonds, the mother hopes that her boy will grow up to study Torah. In the revised version of the lullaby, composed for a Yiddish musical in the late 1890s, there's no more mention of Torah. Instead, the mother expresses a wish that her little boy Yiddele should grow up to be a merchant und verdienen viel Geld, earn a lot of money. Schlaf mein Kind, sleep my child, with lyrics by Sholem Aleichem, describes the sorrows and hopes of a family broken apart by immigration to the New World. Sleep my child, my crown, my beauty. Sleep my darling son. Sleep my life, my only Kaddish, the one who will say Kaddish for me. Lulinka Lulu. By your cradle sits your mother. She sings a song and weeps. You'll understand someday, perhaps, what is in her heart. Your papa's in America, 1,000 miles away. You are still a little child. Sleep now, lulu. Someday he will send his picture, $20 too, and we will sail across the water to join him there, my dear. Even in the ghettos and concentration camps of the Second World War, Jews wrote lullabies to sing to their children. Still widely performed today is Stiller, Stiller, Quiet, Quiet, written and sung in the Vilna ghetto, with a haunting melody composed by an 11-year-old boy. Stiller, Stiller, lo mir schweigen, Dvorim wachsen doch. Quiet, quiet, let's be silent. Graves are growing here. There are roads that lead to Ponar, scene of a terrible massacre of Jews, but no roads that lead back. There your papa has gone, and with him, our happiness. One of the best known of all Jewish lullabies appears in this week's Torah portion. It is the last portion in the book of Genesis, a portion beautifully shaped by the sense of an ending. 2 deaths are recorded, of Jacob and Joseph, and with them, the era of the patriarchs comes to an end. As the portion begins, Jacob is very old. He senses that his last days are approaching. He calls his powerful son Joseph and begs him to perform for his old father an act of chesed, kindness and loyalty. When I lie down with my fathers, he says, take me up from Egypt and bury me in their burial place. Joseph gives his father a solemn oath that he will bury him in the land of Israel, in the ancestral cave. Soon after, Jacob grows ill, and Joseph brings his 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, to their grandfather's bedside to receive his deathbed blessing. The Torah tells us that Jacob's eyes were dim with age. He could no longer see. Joseph brings the boys close to their grandfather so he can hug and kiss them. Then Jacob says to Joseph, I never expected to see you again, and here God has let me see your children as well. Then the old man places his hands on the heads of the boys and says, may the God in whose ways my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd from my birth to this day, the angel who has saved me from all harm, bless these lads. In them may my name be recalled, and the names of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and may they grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. The last part of Jacob's blessing is included in the bedtime Shema, the evening prayer before sleep, and his blessing is often sung to Jewish children as a lullaby. Hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra. May the angel who has saved me from all harm bless these children. In this verse, Jacob looks back at his long and difficult life, marked by strife with his brother and father, struggle in the house of Lavan, the death of his beloved wife, Rachel, and the 17-year loss of his precious son, Joseph. He looks back, not with anger or grief, but with gratitude and peace. He realizes that along with the suffering, goodness has been part of his life throughout the journey. He's been kept in life by a loving God, blessed with people to love, and given strength to overcome his challenges. Life has brought him more than he has ever dreamed. He has lived to be reunited with Joseph and to embrace Joseph's sons. With eyes blinded by tears of joy and hope, he asks for that same loving God, that same guiding angel, to be with these children when he is gone. And may my name live on in them, and the names of my fathers, and may they grow and be strong in the midst of the earth. Sung to children in the darkness of night, this lullaby reminds them that they are cherished and protected, surrounded by angels who care for them and nurture them, one of whom is singing these very words, sitting by their bed, or holding them safe and warm in loving arms. And we, the singers, the parents, grandparents, or caregivers, We pray that this child may be blessed and kept mikol ra, from all pain, from all harm. We know how very far we are from angels. Our limits and flaws are revealed every day. And yet, for our children, we are called to be angels, messengers of the divine. For it is through us, the caring adults in their life, that children receive God's love and compassion, tenderness and forgiveness, strength, protection, and peace. As the sun's rays transmit its warmth and radiance, so we must be the ones to transmit the light of goodness to the young ones in our care. With Jacob, we feel ourselves part of a chain that stretches back beyond our own parents and grandparents, mothers and fathers who loved their children well, but not perfectly, singing them songs of comfort and sorrow, dreaming for them a better life and a better future, yet worried and afraid of what might come. On this dark night of the winter solstice, we know how much there is to fear in this world, and we fear for the children who must live in the world we are leaving them. Unlike the history teacher in Billy Collins' poem, we know we can't preserve our children's innocence forever, and certainly not by lying to them about sadness and pain. But let us remember that the solstice marks not just the longest night of the year, but the return of the sun and the rebirth of hope. Hope returns to us more beautiful than ever at the birth of every baby and the love the baby engenders in so many hearts. So let us love well the ones who are close to us and do our best to keep our children safe and work and pray for the better world they deserve. May they be grounded in goodness and grateful for their blessings. May our names live on in them and the names of those who came before us. And may they grow and be strong.